Test mic, test microphone. I hope I'm nicely synced in here. I think so.
You're listening to the Conscious Briefing Show podcast on Anchor FM.
Alrighty. Welcome back to another edition of the Conscious Briefing podcast. My name is Jason Batt and I will be your host for today's podcast. Guys, yes, I know I haven't been doing a podcast for a while now. It's been probably about a month, maybe a little bit more than a month. Yeah, I know, sorry, there's no excuse. I think I was just plain lazy. I think it was hectic, yeah, at work where I work, it was busy. A lot of things were happening. It was December was great. I didn't have much problems or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy. I'm happy with the results. Everybody pulled their weight and it was great. Compliments to the season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. 2020 is here. Question is it going to be a better year than previous years? That is the big question, and I think a lot of us say no, a lot of us say yay, yes, but you don't know. The fact of the matter is we make these new resolutions and mantras, whatever you want to call them. We don't seem to stick to them, do we? The current political movements that we have in our country don't seem to make it any better for us. We want to be positive, and I, for one, in my earlier podcast that I made last year, beginning in January 2019 last year, I said I wanted to be positive, and that's what I did. I did remain positive. It started out good, and there's something I typed last night. Well, yesterday afternoon. I just want to read it to you. It's probably about 9 minutes worth of material. So my eyes are going to dwell off here down on the bottom of my laptop here. So bear with me. I'm going to also put some pictures on. But this is a review, 2019 review that I made. Okay, where is it now? Okay, great. So let's do it. Let's read this. 2019 was one of those years where we wanted it to be good, to be a good year, but somehow did not meet the expectations one would have hoped for. At the end of every year, we take a look back and tell ourselves we are going to have a better year than previous year. And without a doubt, we are either one of the few things. We are either happy with the year and in constant awe and with the results of the year, or we are not happy with the year and we have complained non-stop from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Or it could have been better. There will have to be some changes made in the new year, the new resolution, but we never stick to it. Oh yeah, it's okay, life goes on, we survived another year. Yeah, great stuff. Fucking cuck, man, if you ask me. Anyway, whatever the outcome of the year is, we as human beings can never really be satisfied with anything, and that's because we as human beings digest and comprehend life differently from one another. Let's look at some of the highs and lows for 2019. One of my biggest highs for the year is when a new political party was formed, namely the Capitalist Party of South Africa, or better known as the Purple Cows of the ZACP. For the first time in my life, I have never really belonged to a party that actually stood for something. The 10 leaders of the ZACP came up with these 10 principles that made a lot of sense. However, the party's biggest downfall was when they registered a few weeks before the national election. Understandably, the party did not have enough time to collect the funds needed to pay the registration fees at the IEC. For the first time, could these 10 leaders of this party get the chance to explain to the nation of South Africa that there is a huge difference between crony capitalism and pure capitalism. Even I was so hyped up with the enthusiasm and positiveness of the party. It was awesome. I tell you, when I joined the ZACP last year, for the first time, we could really explain to the people out there what capitalism really is. You get true capitalism and you get crony capitalism, and then everybody seems to associate big corporate companies, these chain stores and that to capitalism. Yes, it is capitalism, but it's two different capitalism. It's not the same as pure capitalism. And if my memory serves me well, I even said in one of my podcasts, I'm tired of being negative, and that was exactly what happened when the ZSEP formed. I was hyped up. I met some interesting people within the ZSAP and had some podcast with them. It was great. And that was until the party could not get enough votes for one seat in parliament. Yeah, I think it was something like 15,000 votes that ZSAP got. It wasn't enough. It was as if all 10 leaders just lost interest overnight. Except for one. You know exactly who you are. You know exactly who you are. There's one of you that's still in the social media group and you're still positive, and you know what, we appreciate it. All of us that are still on the Facebook group, on the ZSCP group, we appreciate your enthusiasm. But that was not going to stop a few of us that I met online. We somehow till this day are still trying to keep the party alive. In particular, one individual who is grasping and holding on for dear life. You, sir, you know exactly who you are. It's not time to give up yet. I know your channel is blocked. Your Facebook account's blocked. I didn't join in the ZSCP conversation yesterday. Sorry about that. But you know exactly who you are. Don't give up. Not just yet. We're still behind you. I hope the ZSCP can find its way. If the current leaders are not interested, then give us the opportunity to select new ones. The concept of the party needs more attention, and with the right people on board, the 10 principles can and should be introduced to a much bigger audience. Individualism deserves to get a chance. When the right capitalism is introduced, the economy of South Africa will be restored. Further down the rabbit hole we go. South Africa had its commission of inquiry into the investigation and allegations of the state capture, corruption and fraud that was committed by some very important people. The Zondo Commission was launched by the government of Cyril Ramaphosa in August 2018 and carried on throughout 2019. What has unraveled in the inquiry so far? Well, we pretty much know what it is. It's President Cyril Ramaphosa's interim administration. The alleged corruption and economic decline seen during the era of Jacob Zuma. The new dawn which was seen in the Gupta-linked individuals at state-owned entities such as Eskom, SAA, Transnet and others. The continuous bailouts needed for state-owned enterprises, and more further investigation into the VBS saga, and many more that the Zondo Commission is going to still investigate. But in all honesty, the Zondo Commission reminds me of the TRC Commission we had in the 1990s, which was like a court-like, justice body assembled in South Africa after the end of apartheid. The purpose of the TRC Commission was to call upon witnesses who were identified as victims of gross human rights violations to give statements about their experiences. The aim of the TRC Commission was to combat impunity, to recreate a culture of accountability. However, the TRC achieved some notable successes in an open and transparent process. It compiled a forensic record of apartheid-era human rights abuse that can no longer be denied. The TRC has been internationally recognized as a key component of the country's democratic transition. But it did have problematic aspects. But the Zondo Commission is not about what happened in the apartheid era. It is about the corruption that is killing this country a slow death in our economy and GDP. Now we all know our economy and GDP is just it's fucked up. It's gone to a ball of shit. To add further to the lows of South Africa was when we all heard the news of the death of the Bosasa boss Gavin Watson when he died in a car accident days before his appearance in the Zondo Commission. This of course has raised a lot of conspiracies, and of course the mainstream media love this as clickbait. Yes, I bet the media must have fucking had massive profits on their clickbaits from this. In more news, Helen Zille resigns from her position in the DA and later joins the IRR, Institute of Race Relations. This is where Zille started her own podcast called Tea with Helen. In a short period, she had just gained over 4,000 subscribers, and if she had stayed, this is what I reckon. If she had stayed, by now I reckon she would have had 15,000 subscribers. Sadly, she left the IRR and rejoined the DA, ending the year off with a tweet using a picture from Jerm that has caused outrage, confirming that Twitter is the most cancerous platform you can get on social media. Twitter is well known for turning a twit into a twit war. Jerm, otherwise known as Jerm, when I wrote this yesterday, I didn't know. I only read about it last night when I got home. Some of his social media pages have been blocked. Now, I think his Twitter account had 60,000 followers on it. It's blocked. Guys, the leftist media out there are poison. They are absolutely fucking poison. And yeah, 60,000 subscribers just fucking gone like it. But anyway, let me go. While we're on the subject of social media, in September this year, a new Facebook group called #IamStaying emerged, and within 3 months, the group has got 1 million subscribers, confirming that many of South Africans is absolutely full of the negative posts we see daily on social media. Here is a fun fact to confirm this. I have some figures that might interest you. Out of a figure of 100%, now this is just for South Africa. Facebook users are sitting on 44.16%. Pinterest 28.54%, which is a photo website, but it's amazing. 28%. I use that site too. I mean, you get a lot of photos, and it's quite a cool site. Twitter 16%, 16.55%. Instagram 8%, YouTube 1.97%. What the fuck are we still doing YouTube videos here? Only flipping 2% of you are on YouTube. Tumblr is 0.3%, and that's not all. The 60% you see on Twitter is dropping even more as we speak. Worldwide Twitter users make up 12%, while Facebook makes up 64%. Now, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to realize that Twitter is a cancerous platform, and the leftist media use Twitter to obtain clickbaits for profit. The majority of major media houses rely on Twitter to get the news. SJWs, otherwise known as social justice warriors, the trolls that are flipping have conversations with, you all a bunch of twisters, but anyway, also play a huge contribution in giving media houses clickbait. My advice for 2020 is not to share too much information that Twitter and media houses strive for. Rather focus on information that can make people realize that they have been fed with misinformation. It's okay to be a right-winger. I am a right-winger. I'm proud to be one. Just don't be an extremist right-winger, because then you will follow the path of so many who lose their jobs. And I'm more specifically talking about the oaks out there that make these videos, like 2 years ago, that Adam Patsavello that made that WhatsApp group video on a beach. He lost his job. And Vicky Momberg using, those are extremists. The people that use the vulgar languages, they just can't control their emotions. They end up losing their jobs. Jeremy now is a right-winger, just like me. There's absolutely nothing offensive in his work. His cartoons speak volumes of truth. His message out there is to let everybody know that the leftist out there is brainwashing people out there, and they're not telling them the truth. Everything you see on the news is just fucking lies, man. It's upsetting, man. The right-winger believes in conservatism that wants to restore balance in society. The right-winger wants a justice system that is fair and sees no color on the race card. These are but a few that individualism seeks. People within the collective hive have been fed with information that cripples society. And everything I just said there above is entirely up to you in how you digest the information. You are more than welcome to do your own research and debate me on what was said here. I just believe we as human beings can do and deserve better than what we currently are experiencing in South Africa. My final conclusion to the review of 2019 is that we did indeed have a cuck year. Retail sales have seen huge decreases. Strange enough, the foot count has remained steady. But store managers from various stores that I've spoken to told me that people this past year have definitely spent less on big items and have purchased smaller items, proving that we have a huge problem in our economy, and the only way to fix is to create more jobs. It is a well-known proven fact. Now hear me when I say this, guys. Hear me when I say this. It's a proven fact that pure and true capitalism is the basic mechanism through which capitalism reduces poverty, is that it encourages people to produce things. The main criticism that capitalism gets is that while it may produce more, the economic gains only to the very top. Stop corruption and the economy will restore it. Now, that's my thing, but I want to tell you guys, and I've been speaking to a couple of these estate Ws, especially on this one particular Facebook group. I'm not going to name the name, it's fine. There's a difference between capitalism. You get your crony capitalism and you get true capitalism. True capitalism is this. This is true capitalism. The street vendors. The oaks out there that want to produce. Okay? Your crony capitalism is your big corporate companies that have deals with certain politicians. We have been seeing it. We've been seeing it for year in and year out. That politicians are making these shady deals with this crony capitalists. The crony capitalist needs to be wiped out, okay? Because the crony capitalist and the politicians out there only really care about their own pockets. True capitalism is for everybody, and I mean the individual out there. The individual out there that can make South Africa great again by producing products that can sell and make money and turn South Africa into a wealthy country again, to make our GDP and our economy looking good. But I alone on this podcast, I can't do it by myself. We all need all South Africans to stand up together and fight this corruption that we're experiencing in South Africa. Alright, that's it. That's my review for 2019. I know I could have done more, but I'm already, I'm probably on 16 minutes now into my podcast. I don't want to make this podcast too long. Thank you very much. I don't know what my next podcast is going to be like. I'll have to sit and think about it, but anyway, enough of that. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Take it easy and remember to, keep it real, I suppose, eh? Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.